The cigarettes are delivered from the high-speed cigarette makers and placed into the cigarette feed system. From here they are guided into the cigarette hopper. They fall into the vanes of the cigarette infeed unit, where the correct amount of cigarettes are pushed out of the hopper into the pockets of the cigarette turret. While the turret transfers the loose cigarette formations to the cigarette track, detectors monitor that the correct amount of cigarettes are fed in and that they are properly aligned. The loose cigarette formations are transported along the cigarette track, where again they are checked to ensure the correct amount of cigarettes are present in the formation. The loose cigarette formations are now wrapped in foil. The foil bobbins are fitted to the bobbin holders. This machine comes fitted with an automatic foil splicer, which will splice the used bobbin to the new one. The foil is passed through the embossing unit. This creates a matte finish to the foil, but can also emboss any branding when required. The foil needs to be cut to the specified length to wrap the loose bundle of cigarettes. The foil cutting head completes this job and also creates the perforations needed for the foil tear-off flap. The foil wrapped cigarette bundles now move on to meet up with the inner frame. The inner frame bobbins are loaded onto the inner frame bobbin carriers. This unit also has an automatic bobbin splice unit to allow for continuous production. The inner frame bobbin passes through the inner frame cutting block, where the board is cut, bent and then moved along with a transversal transport belt to the cigarette track and placed along with the foil wrapped cigarettes. The blanks are supplied from the hopper and pass through the blank unit, where paste is applied and then fed into the folding turret. The folding turret then turns the blank almost one revolution. During the course of the revolution, the top folder pushes the cigarette bundle and inner frame into the blank. When the turret has reached 3/4 of a revolution, the packet is taken up by the packet track. Here the side flaps are glued and folded down. At the end of the packet track, the lifter receives the packet and transports them to the transfer turret and then into the drying drum. This drum is heated, which aids in the curing of the glue. The drum will complete nearly one revolution before the packets are transferred to a second non-heated drying drum, where they will again complete nearly a revolution, discharged and transported for cellophane wrapping. The cigarette packets are fed into the cellophaning machine. The cellophane is supplied from these bobbins, where a tear-off strip is also applied. The cellophane and tear strip are fed through the cutting unit, where it is cut to the correct length to wrap the whole packet. The packet of cigarettes is pushed into the cellophane and transferred to the star wheel, so the cellophane ends can be folded and the side seam heat sealed. On their way to be collated as a cigarette bundle, the packets pass through an additional heater to ensure a tight fitting wrap. Turning the packets on their side ensure they are now in the correct orientation for the next stage of wrapping. Here the cigarette packets are collected to be wrapped as a bundle. The cellophane is fed from this bobbin and a tear-off strip is also applied as it is threaded through the machine. The loose bundle of cigarettes are pushed into the cellophane and the receiving pocket of the machine starts the wrapping process. As the bundle progresses through the machine, the cellophane sides are folded and before transport to the overhead conveyor, all seams are sealed with the application of heat. The overhead conveyor will feed the bundles into the case packer. This is where the bundles are collected and then pushed into a waiting case. When full, the case is moved on and a new case supplied and opened, ready for the next bundles.